I want to share that I am retired Air Force. And so for many years, even from a child, like I never, ever, ever touched the plant. However, as a child, learning that this plant existed and that people were going to jail for it. And then as a child, there was this level of confusion about something growing freely out in nature being illegal, and the threat of going to jail for engaging with a plant that naturally grows in nature. So as a child, that did not compute. It didn't make sense to me. So I didn't judge the people that were taking cannabis. I just never engaged with it because I didn't want to go to jail. So yeah, I like this thing called freedom, to do what you want to do. So once I got out of the Air Force, things came into my peer view that had to do about medical cannabis. I'm like, what is this? And so that's what intrigued me to get me onto this journey. So I want to also take a moment to express our deep, deep gratitude for you all taking time out of your schedules to join us for our Connected Speaker Series. My name is Love, and I've been a nurse for over 20 years now, and I hold board certifications as a women's health nurse practitioner, nurse midwife, and a nurse coach. And I also hold 2 medical cannabis certifications. And I enjoy educating and participating in research initiatives and advocating for my clients, as well as various public health policies. All right, so now I'd like to share a little something with you that I found quite interesting. Several years ago, I was in a meeting sitting next to a woman who lowered her voice before asking me a question. And it wasn't because she was discussing anything illegal. It wasn't because she was ashamed of what she had done, but she was afraid of being judged. She had chronic pain. She wasn't sleeping. So she was exhausted from trying treatment after treatment. And someone finally came along and suggested to her that maybe cannabis might help. Yet before she even asked her question, she looks around the room and she leans in and whispers, "Can I ask you something about cannabis?" And I remember thinking how strange that was. A grown woman, very intelligent, educated, but yet desperate for answers. And she felt she needed this permission to simply ask a question. Now, this real barrier. Oh man, over the years, I've heard the same hesitation from veterans, mothers, grandparents, healthcare professionals, and people from every single walk of life. Sometimes the greatest barrier is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of stigma, fear of asking the wrong question. And that very realization is the thing that assisted me in changing the way that I approach my work. So, what's the big idea? All of this got me to thinking, what if one of the most powerful forms of healing isn't a medication? It isn't a supplement or some type of treatment. And so what if it's simply creating a space where people feel safe enough to learn? Because education changes fear, and compassion creates the conditions where learning can happen. Now, you've all heard about this endocannabinoid system, and that's a mouthful, and so we tend to just call it the ECS. But most people know about this nervous system in our bodies, the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, all the systems that many of us learned in nursing school. Now, I've been in this cannabis education space for about 5 years or so. And every time I ask someone, have they ever heard of the endocannabinoid system? They say no. And that even goes for the majority of the medical professionals that I engage with as well. The ECS exists within all of us, every single one of us. And its job is simple, yet it's very profound. And as Nurse Heather said earlier, like maintaining that balance throughout the body, that balance in sleep, balance in the mood, balance in pain perception, balance in immune function, memory, appetite. Scientists call this homeostasis. I often tell people to imagine our body's master balancing system, constantly working behind the scenes to help us adapt to stress, help us balance pain perception, balance in immune function, memory, appetite. I often tell people to imagine our body's system working hard behind the scenes to help us adapt to that stress, maintain equilibrium. And when it gets out of balance, which is likely the case with the majority of us throughout the world, I think, there are many ways to help restore it. But if we don't even know it exists, how can we even begin to go in that direction? And the remarkable thing is that most healthcare providers receive little to no education about this system during any formal training. Even though it was discovered more than 30 years ago, so I think that's quite long enough for it to have made it to our textbooks by the time that I went to nursing school. So, and if we don't understand that system, how can we have informed conversations about the therapies that interact with it, period? So, as a nurse coach, educator, and advocate, I've discovered that something that's really important. People are seeking relief. They are seeking hope, sleep, comfort, quality of life. I mean, like, who does not want quality of life? And so the cannabis conversation is just often the doorway. And so what people truly need is someone who's willing to listen, someone to say, just tell me your story. Tell me what you've tried. Tell me what most matters to you. So healing doesn't begin when we hand someone information. We've all gotten those pamphlets. Here you go, just read this, read that. Healing begins when people absolutely feel heard. So I listen before advising, and I allow curiosity to come before drawing any conclusions. So now, while compassion is required, that alone isn't enough. We also need the science. We need continued research. We need education. We need advocacy. All right. And so throughout my work, I've had the privilege of participating in research initiatives, educating communities about the ECS, and collaborating with organizations that are committed to safe access and evidence-informed cannabis education, such as what we experience here with the Cannabis Nurses Network. And so because every person deserves accurate information, not fear, not myths, not stigma, information. And when science and compassion work together, people are empowered to make decisions that align with their own values, goals, and health needs. So if you haven't already, I invite you to get involved. Watch what can happen, or it can take you. I often think back to that woman who whispered her question to me. And so what she needed wasn't permission to take cannabis. What she needed was permission to ask, permission to learn, permission to participate in a conversation about her very own health. And so today, my work is rooted in a simple belief. People deserve both compassion and science. They deserve to be heard before being educated and or advised. And they deserve support as they navigate their own path towards their well-being. Because healing begins when we create spaces where questions are welcomed, learning is encouraged, and people feel empowered to make informed decisions. They have a right to that. We all have a right to that. To making decisions that are rooted in compassion and guided by science. So I invite you to adopt whatever things that we've discussed today into your approach in whatever the context is that you're engaging with others. Become a part of this movement that's rooted in both heart and science, heart and evidence. And so together we can indeed make a difference. So again, I deeply, deeply appreciate your presence and your attention here today. It is not taken lightly. And I invite you to reach out should you desire to take this conversation any further. Thank you very much.
She leaned in softly, almost whispered my name. Not because she'd done wrong, but because she'd carried shame. One quiet question she was afraid to ask. Sometimes the heaviest burden is wearing an invisible mask. Every story begins with someone listening. Every heart opens when fear gives way. Science lights the pathway, compassion holds the hand. Together they become the hope we understand. Listen before speaking, love before conclusion. Healing grows where truth and kindness meet. Science and compassion walking side by side. Every answer matters, every question too. Learning starts the moment someone feels safe with you. Knowledge gives us courage, research shows the way, but healing starts when someone says, I'm here, tell me your story. Not fear, not judgment, not myth, not shame. Curiosity opens every door. We hear.